you see China? Is China on the, oh, there you are. I see China. I'm sorry. Thank you. Disregard. Just a reminder, the meeting is being recorded.
Evelyn, we cannot hear you. I think I see you talking and it doesn't look like you're muted, but I do not hear you.
Okay, now you can all speak.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I have a headset. It's giving me a hard time and I needed to just uncouple it. All right. Hello, everyone. All right, so we have everybody that needs to be here. Pamela, I think we're ready to go.
Yes.
Okay, all righty. All right, so let's get started. So, first of all, reading, I'm not ready. This is why I just can't jump from one meeting to the next.
I sent you the opening statement just now if you want to check your email.
It takes a bit to come through. I have it ready. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. All right, so let's start with our opening statement. All right, the trustees of the Boston Public Library reaffirm our commitment to racial equity and to principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion more broadly. The library is formally committed to becoming an anti-racist organization in response to the systemic racism, inequity, and injustice prevalent in our society. We acknowledge also that the Boston Public Library Central Library stands on land that was once a water-based ecosystem, providing sustenance for the indigenous Massachusetts people. And it's a place which has long served as a site of meeting and exchange among nations. We are committed to land acknowledgements for all locations at which we operate. We reaffirm this commitment to set the context for our planning, deliberations, and public engagement will take place from the spirit of welcome and respect found in our motto, free to all. Right. So now let's do a roll call. Pamela?
Yes, I'm just going to say your last name. Arano Ortiz?
Here.
Foley?
Here.
Mediun?
Present.
Shaw? Absent. And Tyler?
Here.
Thank you. I do have other members that are ex officio, Alan Knight and Diana Pruso and Candelaria Silva, who are present just for the record. We have a quorum.
Thank you so much. All right. Now, next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Those were shared prior to the meeting. Can I please approve?
Motion to
So
approve.
moved.
All right, any discussion? Any questions, edits? No? All right, so can we take a roll call to approve, please?
Yes. The only person I'm not going to ask is, oh, sorry, I'm talking out loud. Evelyn?
Yes.
Foley?
Yep.
Mediun? I see you, Shay.
Yeah, I'm having some audio trouble today.
Got it. And Tyler?
Yes.
So moved.
All right, excellent. All right, Priscilla. Some BPL updates, please.
Okay, so hello, everyone. I just want to say we have been open fully to the public since June, and we've been welcoming patrons in for new library cards for reconnecting with the branches across the system. I want to pay a particular call out to the Roxbury staff and Alan and his crew for continually bringing in the community for study, for crafts, for programming. And we've been very excited to see all of our branches full. And then recently we had our ribbon cutting at the Roxbury branch, which had a really great turnout. We were really excited to see the community coming back. Particularly, I was upstairs where the 3D printer was, and we had a little boy come in and said, "I've never seen one before. I want to come in and see it." So I got to explain to him how it worked, and he was really excited to see it. So thank you all for those of you that were able to be there and participating. I appreciate that, and particularly Alan and his crew that were so wonderful and welcoming to the branch. Thank you.
Evelyn, we can't hear you.
I just want to piggyback.
Are you? I was saying, it says start to share screen, but there's nothing being shared. There we go. All right, Candelaria, I think that is you.
Jay, can you put up the report from Candelaria? I believe Sarah Ann Shaw just joined us, just for the record, for quorum reasons.
I don't believe you have my report, Pamela.
No, just your, just your documents that we shared. I asked Jay to have.
Okay. Well, I have another report, and I don't know
okay.
if I can share screen or if I can just read it and then share after.
You can share if you'd like. I'm having some technical difficulties.
Okay, so what do I do to share it? Just
Down at the bottom of your screen, there's a little green icon that says share screen. Click on
yes.
that.
Okay. Okay. So let me see if I can find the document that I had called up.
Hello, Sarah Ann. Lovely to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So I'll start. This is just a brief report on the programs that have already been funded. So the completed programs were the Arts as Meditation program, and it went from August 16th and ended on September 27th. It was a little later because 1 week she had to skip because she had been at some place where someone had been exposed to COVID. I attended the last class, and it was really wonderful. That class was watercolor, where we were led in meditation. We drew with watercolor, etc. And at that class, there were 6 people in attendance, and the attendance was from 4 to 6 people. Currently, the other thing that was completed was the piano classes, and I guess I had reported on that before, so I didn't include it in this report. Current Arts Emerson, the play reading book club for the first play that they're doing in the funding is Iphigenia, and it started on the 25th, and it goes into November 16th, where there'll be a stage reading of part of the play. I observed this past Monday, and there were 15 people in attendance. The previous week, which was the week it started, there were 20 people. The upcoming is the Maconda Project concert, which will be on November 13th. They're going to have 2 shows because of the limits of the size of the audience that can be in the auditorium. Bonita Jones, I should have put her under current, but you know, my mind. She's the meditation and mindfulness class started on November as well, but that's remote, and I couldn't be in the play reading class and also attend hers, but I talked to her and she said 9 people had attended. She has 2 sessions that happen, one from 12:30 to 1:30 and one from 6 to 7:30. Upcoming programs are Movers and Shakers, which is movement, craft, and storytelling for families. That will start in February. The Haley House Take Back the Kitchen classes, which start on January 10th for families, on January 31st for seniors. And I know that they asked me to send out a flyer. They're asking for volunteers to use the test kitchen on Monday, the 8th. So I was able to send up that flyer. There's an African-American history teach-in. There are 3 of those dates. Monday, November 20th, about Kwanzaa, Monday, January 10th, about Martin Luther King Day. And I can't on my screen. I can't make it so I can see the bottom of it, but whatever the other day, oh, let me look at my printed copy. There is Saturday, he has proposed to do Juneteenth, and he's hoping that by June 11th, the library will still be open on Saturdays. If not, he'll change it because the other 2 dates were originally planned for Saturdays. He also got funded for a genealogy boot camp, and that's going to be scheduled as well. And others to be scheduled are the piano classes for children. I just heard from Carlos actually yesterday after trying to be in touch with him. He was checking with the Boston Conservatory. The Boston Conservatory is willing to host again in the spring on Saturdays. But I told him I would get back to that because we may have information where the library is going to be open on Saturdays. And I don't know whether we do partially at the conservatory and then come back into the library as soon as we can, or if we started at the conservatory, we would stay at the conservatory for the full semester. That would be something that would have to be decided. Also to be scheduled are coding classes, and he wanted those to be, they were supposed to start on January 5th and run through February 26th. I got an email right before this meeting that I didn't have a chance to read to see when in fact he's going to start, but he wanted to do them on Wednesday evenings, afternoons from 3:30 to 5:30, and on Saturdays, hopefully. So we know about that. The collage workshops for families will be held during March and April vacation week, and those dates haven't been determined yet. And then the play reading book clubs that remain, there will be one that will run from February 12th to March 5th. And the second one from April 2nd to April 23rd. And then the final one from April 30th to May 21st. Right now, those dates are all Saturdays, but they know that they will have to change like they had to change with Iphigenia if the library branch is not open on Saturday. And then the Maconda Project concert is to be determined in April. So that's just an update on where we are. Are there any questions?
Any questions? I have none on my side.
Okay.
Anybody?
So then,
I was going to say, anybody? Anybody? Raise your hand. No?
so I'll stop the share.
Yes.
I do have a question.
Yes.
So just to clarify, so when is Carlos hoping to start the spring classes? If we could, I just wanted to be reminded of that.
He didn't give me an actual date of when he would start. He just said that he had finally met with the person he needed to meet with at the conservatory, and they were willing to do it in the spring. But I don't know if he actually means winter, spring, or spring. So I told him that I had this meeting today, and I would talk to him afterwards.
Okay. So we'll, as information about expanding hours and services for the library comes out, we'll make sure that, that people are aware of it as soon as the information becomes public.
Yes.
Seems my screen share is still not working, so I will figure something out.
All right, no worries. I got the agenda. All right, so now, Candelaria, if we can talk through the, what are we doing? You know, we said we had talked about doing another RFP for the winter timeframe to just, so do you want to take it from there?
Yeah, I had shared a document, I guess, that hasn't come up or he's not able to share on the screen, which was the activities requested. That was the one that had most of the changes and updates based on our last meeting, and they were highlighted in yellow. So I think that, and then I think that would be one.
Let me see if I can share it on mine. Let me see, I might be able to share it on mine.
Okay.
Just give me a minute, I apologize.
But one of the things I wanted to say before we even put that up, one of the problems to me about issuing another RFP would be if the library still is open for the limited dates that it's open. If it's not open a second evening, and if it's not open on Saturdays, it's going to really wreak havoc. Almost everybody wants to do their programming on Saturday. Almost everybody wants to do programming on the evening. And so the programs will be competing with each other, both the existing programs that have been funded and new programs. Very few people are asking for things during the day. We may have a few, but most of the program is not scheduled for during the day. So I just don't know realistically, if we're trying to have programs in the library, how we can support if we do a new RFP and get a lot of things.
So are we saying due to lack of availability, I mean, that lack of, incremental availability, we can't carry out additional programming?
I think it'll be very difficult. I think that maybe we could do the RFP to say at this time, we're only accepting limited, we preference and encourage people to submit proposals that will happen during the daytime during the library. But it's fairly unrealistic given the history of the program and what's been done. Even pre-COVID, we didn't have a lot of programs that were able to be successful during the daytime, during the week.
Right. So Priscilla.
Just a question about sort of preference. Do we have a sense of if anybody might want to be continuing remote or having the classes that they are doing, having them be virtual?
The RFP that we issued that we're now in the middle of, we were trying to get people to come back in the library. So all our language is about that. So we were really confused with whether, since the library is open, you could actually have hybrid programs, and people say they can do them, but the difference between the meditation class online and then the one that just happened where people are actually able to create watercolors and stuff, the difference between, like the play reading book club, people really loved being able to be in that room. Everybody had on a mask, we were all apart. I think that's the preference. So I think for people who've never done a program for us and we've never seen them do a program, if we are hoping to get new types of programs proposed and new people to do them, but it's much harder to observe and build a bond and really understand a person's style when they're limited to Zoom. So, I mean, obviously we've all figured out how to work beyond it, but that's what I don't know. I don't know. And also that also means people have to have really good computer connections. And we know that we have a significant population who used to come to the Roxbury branch because there were computers that they could use. Either they didn't have internet access at home or they didn't have computers. So you are certainly limiting the audience if it's virtual, because it's only for those people who have that ability and that connection. So that's just my 2 cents.
So so let me ask, I want to go back for a minute because I want to go through the priorities first, because I think let's just go through the priorities first and then determine, if that specific priority for programming, is it suited for virtual versus in person? But I also want to go through, the question is, Priscilla, do we know do we have a timeline from the library in terms of additional, increasing hours, increasing access to the library? So we don't have a timeline yet.
We don't have a timeline yet. I am hopeful that we will have one soon. So we're in, and we anticipate that we'll be able to make that transition to expanded hours in next year. But we don't have that set yet.
Got it. All right. So can we go, Pamela, do we have the priorities?
Yes, I think it's there we go.
There it is. Thank you. So if you look through there, we have the children's, and the only thing that I added is all the same things that we've had before. And I just added, once allowed, performing arts and large group events for children need to be carried out in the community room. But what we asked for was after school arts, dance or yoga, storytelling, music and movement, chess instruction, technology classes, including blah, 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 crafts classes, cooking classes once allowed. So again, dance, arts and yoga. I mean, children, from my grandchildren's experience and other people I know who have young children, they're kind of zoomed out. They really want to do more things in person. So, that's a judgment call on whether or not they would how many of them would sign up. I mean, Felicia has been very skilled in getting people into the library. She's really built a following, so maybe she would know whether or not she thought that could happen. If you scroll up, the teen activities are all the same. Nothing needed to change there. It's music programming, open mics and spoken word events, digital music programming, ukulele classes, chess instruction, using the 3D printer, comic book, graphic novel, cooking classes, technology programs, writing workshops, etc. So that's pretty much the same.
Let me ask you a question, because the children and the teens could be after school programs, not necessarily evening programs, right?
Right. We do have kids coming in, but they're also evening. One of the reasons, like we found with the cooking classes, it was hard to get parents to come in by 4. It was easier for them to come in after their work ended at 5:30 and bring the kids in. And certainly having something on a Saturday, a cooking class is easier. Some of the teens and young kids, some of them are working after school. They might be in other programs. So, I mean, it's all a gamble of trying. But what I think both the children's librarian and the teen librarian have been able to do is really build some consistency. Stephen has mentioned that they've gotten a lot of teens to come in and they're doing their homework. That a lot of teens are coming into the library and they're actually doing the homework at the library. So I think they are building a constituency.
Okay. I mean, because if you build a program, where, and I'll make this up because I don't know what time schools are letting out when, right? But if you have school coming, kids coming out of school, they probably get a snack, they go into the library, they do their homework, and then start some programming after they finish their homework. So let's say, what time does the library closes? On weekdays?
At 6 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then Monday they're open till 8.
Right. So if you do something towards the tail end of the day, where they can have some fun with some programming after homework, that would work, and that's within the hours of the library. Does that make sense? Instead of just always going through a Saturday. So if we could put some, I don't think we should rule it out. I think it's like after school programming, in the hours, after, I'm gonna say after 4:30 or something. What do people think? If we put some framework around the ask.
Alan, do you have specific thoughts on, since you're on site? I mean, and I was going to say, China, you're actually there.
Yeah, I was going to chime in. Afternoon, everyone. I think that totally makes sense. I mean, I know that we have staggered let out times, so we have to get really innovative as to what times make sense. We got like many different grade configurations, kids going to different schools, and a lot's going on with that. But I think that the after school framing makes total sense, just to be able to catch a wider net of children that, are interested in these programs. So I definitely agree with that for sure. That's a good point.
Aaron?
Am I on? Yes, I just want to say that right after school time, when we have that homework teacher coming in, who's a retired Boston public school teacher, and the mentors coming in at that time too. So those two will be in a conflict, whether they have a program or go to get your tutoring help though.
No, that's what I'm saying, Alan. I'm saying after that. So how long is homework help? What's the times for homework help?
That go to about 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Okay, so I'm guessing.
Well, that's on a Monday to, on the weekdays it goes to about 5:30 or so.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Does homework help kind of dwindles down towards the end of the day where kids are done? And then if we have programming offers after homework help, that's exactly what I'm talking about. If we do it after homework, that there's a program that they can join. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying in conflict, I'm saying in concert.
What I think is that if you have a program that's interesting, like if you had Minecraft or you had a 3D printer or graphic novel, somebody proposed that would draw kids, some of whom would be coming just to the library just for that particular course, and some of whom were already coming on a regular basis because they get homework help and they would have to work when they worked with the tutor with the program, because it's not like we're going to have programs every single day of the week, I don't believe. In
Right.
response to the RFP. But the other thing that I think is also is that, we still don't allow food in the library. So that's one thing about kids, usually food is one of the things that attracts and motivates, kids. It certainly motivated my son, and he went to all the programs that were given free food because they, at that age. So that's something that the library also is going to hopefully one day be able to bring about. So I think it's worth a shot. It's just that, it's still not as flexible as if we have 2 evenings open. So everything now has to happen on a Monday evening if it's extended hours.
Right.
So
No,
the
understood.
hours definitely impact how many programs we can approve, because teen programs and adult programs and children's programs are competing for the same limited spaces. And if it's all on one night, it just makes the competition more. And so we have never before considered the ability of the ability of rooms in terms of making a decision to grant fund a proposal. We would
Okay.
probably have to start considering that a little bit to just see how many things would be overlapping until the library opens up. But again, by the time we issue the RFP, maybe it'll be a moot point because the library will have expanded its hours. That's my hope. So let's go to adults.
The other thing, Candelaria, is that I'm looking at the programs that are already scheduled or completed, and I'm trying to kind of bridge the gap, right? So, for example, I see, a lot, I see children and families and adult programming, but maybe we prioritize teen programming because there is limited in what I see on the report that you provided. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. I think we, as always, we can issue, it's a matter of who responds. We have coding is one that is definitely geared toward teens. So that's something that will be happening. And, we can ask for more, consciously try to reach more programs for teens.
Okay. Got it.
See,
Great.
and don't forget, we have the Boys and Girls Club right next door. So there's programming that's going on there, and whether or not they won't do programming at the library, I don't think. But,
Got it.
So.
All right, can we scroll up?
So what I added was educational and cultural program are invited. We are especially interested in financial literacy programs and programs that work with people who have limited resources or who have been marginalized. So that was taken from the conversations that we had at our last meeting. And so the third bullet I've highlighted is financial literacy. And I define that by establishing or repairing credit, banking, saving, budgeting, and investing. Under the writing classes, which have been a big draw, I just highlighted that it could include memoirs, adult and children's fiction, poetry, and essays. Further down, I have services for formerly incarcerated, and I put clearing and sealing incarceration records, CORI. Career info was added, including resume writing, interviewing. I should have had interviewing, I apologize. And job search skills and instruction on how to apply for grants and fellowships. In terms of that last bullet, instruction on how to apply for grants and fellowships, I met with Priscilla a few weeks ago, and I told her that that's a workshop that I would be willing to offer as part of my role in this role, not applying for a grant, because I get paid. I've done it for lots and lots of time. So that's something that I could do and we could add. And then the same, so those are things from the branch librarian and from Acuna. Members of the Friends of the Roxbury Library have also asked for technology instruction. And what I highlighted was basic and advanced computer use and programs which showcase the arts and or history.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I captured what was asked, but I tried based on all my notes.
No, that looks good.
Representative Tyler, is that okay for you?
I really appreciate the formerly incarcerated piece, especially how you framed it, people who are marginalized, because it could go a little bit wider than not just incarcerated, but I appreciate that. And that is good with me.
Yes. So one of the things that I've asked and I've been doing on my own is just making lists of programs that already serve those populations so that I would send the RFP to them to let them know that there was this money and that they could do something in the library. So, but if anybody has names of any individuals or people who would offer programs that you think would be great, let me know. And then that way I can make sure that they are sent the RFP once we decide to release it.
Okay.
So
I have a,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Shay has her hand up, so I was going to call on Shay.
Okay.
I first I have a question for Alan. Alan, who comes into the library prior to after school time?
You're on mute, Alan.
Okay, can you repeat that question?
Yeah, who comes into the library prior to after school time? Or is it just quiet?
It's kind of quiet before after school time. We have more adults coming in for computer use and maybe instructions and more or less for like help and even also resume help or so. So basically adults in the morning up to the, well, adults all day long though, but the teens start coming in right after school.
Okay.
And we're getting more and more teens than we have previously in the past. So that's good.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
in Felicia, she still had like in the morning, she might have a couple of parents coming in with the children though, but basically our space wise is what is being used by community use right now.
Are any of the preschools coming in for story hour? Or are they staying away from going into spaces?
They're more or less staying away right now because, because of the space and the limitation how many people can be in the space at the same time.
Okay.
So they're not, but we expect that to pick up soon as we get the have more people in the space wise. And we also we see an uptick in patrons coming since we had our grand opening too. That we are getting more flow of people coming in now. So we expect that to increase.
Right. I'm going to let China talk and then I'm going to process what I'm thinking and then I'll come back. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Really quick question on the RFP portion of it. So they have to, so this is a question for Candelaria and just understanding process. So they actually have to get an email from you to apply, or I just don't understand that process. Can you explain that a little bit more?
I put an ad in the Bay State Banner announcing that the RFP is available, and it has an email of how to contact to get the guidelines. It also has information about the technical assistance section that I do, and that's all outlined under the timeline, which is in the proposal that you have. We also, then I mail to everybody who's ever been funded and had a grant. So there are people who haven't applied in a few years, but they're on, I have like the different RFP grantees and applicants. And then I send it out through the friends of both the Roxbury branch and other friends groups, and there's a citywide friends name. And then I send it out to people who've expressed interest in attending programs or having a program. And then I just have a community list of different organizations that might respond to an RFP. So that's how the word gets out. And then obviously I send it, and I hope that the advisory board members would also send it out.
Do we post it on the, I thought we also posted it on our website, on the library website, do we, or no?
I don't post it, but I think it's been posted, and I will do it on the fellows not the fellows, the Friends of the Roxbury Library Facebook page.
Okay. Pamela, I think, is it possible?
Was that it, enough of an answer, or did you get it?
Yeah,
Tanya? Okay.
I think I want to go a little wider. I was gonna say, Pamela, is it possible to share with the trustees to see if they know of organizations that they could, you know, or contacts?
That was one of the focuses of the Strategic Community Engagement Committee. I believe that was one of the focuses. I know that Candelaria has actually spoken to a few of the members on that committee who reached out to her.
Okay, good. Representative Tyler?
Oh, sorry, my hand is still up, but thank you, Candelaria. You answered my question. Thank you.
All right. So no, that seems good. All right.
And
Amy,
then
Shay, anything else? There we go. Hey. You're on, Shay? I know.
Drives me crazy.
It's to all of us.
All right, this is not well thought out, but what I believe I'm hearing, hoping I'm offering a compromise here. If we were to move forward with any type of RFP, it needs to be extremely targeted or with a limited focus. Perhaps that focus would look at specific areas on the sheet that Candelaria presented, maybe the highlighted ones, and populations that seem to not be accessing programs or creating programs or whatever. That would make the proposal or the request for proposal reach out maybe wider, but not necessarily wider. You know what I mean? It's like it may be in more
Wider,
places, but we're looking
Wider,
for
but narrower.
yes, and maybe we don't accept as many. Given that there's time and space, and do we look at who might be available to come in the mornings that we might want to try to reach out to? I mean, I do know that seniors are not coming out in large numbers like they used to. So who might have been a population that we would have probably reached out to before? But that's just a thought, hoping that was a compromise.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of where I was trying to get the conversation. If we can prioritize the programs, meaning where do we have some gaps to programs that are already scheduled? And I love your question, like who goes in the morning, right? Because if it's quiet in the morning, who is it that we can bring in that and then use the space? And I do, Candelaria, I do have a couple of people who I've spoken to, some interesting programming that I will share the names with you.
Thank you.
Right.
So the only other thing is I had a timeline, and the timeline is very ambitious. And that was that's like the third or fourth page on the RFP. So if you can go to that document. There it is. So the issue date would be November 19th, and it may be a little bit later based on our meeting today, that the technical assistance sessions would be held December 6th and December 11th, and the one would be in person and one would be virtual. The notice of intent would be due on December 17th by 5 p.m. And that's again electronically. The final proposal deadline is January 14th, and the reason for that is that Christmas, and people are just not going to do more than that. The grant review would be from January 17th to February 7th for the committee. We'd have a meeting on the proposals on the week of February 7th. The notification date would be Friday. I shouldn't say Friday, February 11th to 14th. Usually I get it all done in one day, but sometimes I need a couple more days. There'd be a grantee orientation on the 21st, and the contracts could begin. and they end in June 17th. So the way we set it up, there's always this period where we've got to issue it, get them in, have a technical assistance meeting, and it's following the same guidelines. So no new programs would be starting before the end of February.
Okay. Quick question. Why June 17th is the end date?
Because I'm trying to get people to actually finish their stuff before the end of the fiscal year. Yeah, we tried to do summer programs last year. We only had the piano virtually and we had one program. So I didn't think that we were going into the summer again, but if that's not true, let me know.
Okay. Oh, just curious. All right. Yep. It's tight, but you feel comfortable with it, Candelaria?
No, but I'll do what I have to do.
Come on.
No, I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's a lot because we're still running the other RFP and it's new. We've never done this before. So we'll see. I mean, what I'll try to do is really make it tighter and really maybe send something that's only focusing in on teen programs and the job training, Corey, working with people who were formerly incarcerated or people who have been marginalized, and just issue it as that. And that means that's all we'll be accepting. We won't be accepting art and culture stuff. Right? If that's what people agree with.
Yeah.
I could see there could be a history series or something that's really interesting that could be offered during the daytime, and you may get people to want to come out because there's a particular speaker or something or topic.
Just so you know, so the two people who have come to me for programming, well, actually, I'm trying to encourage to do programming. One of them is it's an organization that offer grants to the beauty industry. And what they do is they have these training programs on business management. So if you have a business that specializes on, beauty and health, how you should manage, how do you register, how do you actually, it's business management. And they offer these grants, for them to get access to technology so they can offer online booking to their customers and just, get online and do outreach and things like that. So it's a really good programming that, people of color, special, there's a lot of businesses around that, and then just get them, registered and online and trained in business matters is great. And then the other one, there's an exhibition happening right now. It's called Latino Pioneers, Awesome Latino Pioneers. It's an exhibition right now in a documentary in City Hall. And I'm trying to get her to do that either at Roxbury or at Central. So those are the two people that I'll send your way. But yeah, let's get it cracking. Let's just put time on our calendars for the week of February 7th. So we can then start, so we have that to look forward. And Candelaria, if there's any assistance that you need or you need help, just let us know. Happy to.
Well, I will need assistance with the Zoom because my personal Zoom can't support the people who might be coming. So going through the library again for that. I don't know if this is the only fund that the Boston Public Library has, but there are online application systems that are much more sophisticated but they're very expensive. Submittable is one. And with another foundation that I'm chair, we use a portal that's just everything can be uploaded. It's so much smoother, but that's an expense that the library, I don't know if you already have a process. Otherwise, it'll just be the way that I did it last time, which the people will be putting in their stuff and then sending it to you individually, electronically. But I know it's not as smooth as if there was like a submittable and then they type it in and we can respond and do stuff on submittable. So that would be the other thing that I would suggest.
Hey, Pamela, do we have anything?
You talk, I don't, you'd have to ask Priscilla that. Priscilla would know
Priscilla, do
better.
we have anything?
I was actually going to ask, were you talking about how much it is? And then I have two other people at the library that I'll ask because they might have sort of similar things. When we're talking about expensive, like how expensive?
When I was doing research, based on the number of applications that we could get, it was around 10,000 to set
Oh,
you up,
that's
but it gives
crazy.
you just sort of unlimited stuff. But that's really, I don't want to make that decision. I couldn't make that decision budgetarily, but it's really something that it should come through your administrative offices, and that should be set up and then fed back to me. So,
I will find out.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just mention, I know you mentioned you needed time on the schedule for the week of February 7th.
Yeah,
Keep in mind, we do have another trustee meeting that week with another committee, so I just have to make sure that we space them. And both you and China are in that committee as well. The date is February 7th, I believe.
I
No,
don't have
sorry,
anything on my
February,
schedule.
I'm sorry?
I don't have anything on my schedule.
Because it's the one that's being booked right now. It's the strategic community engagement. It's currently being held probably on February 10th in the early evening, 4:30 to 6.
Oh,
I just thought I'd throw that out there. So I can't have trustee meetings back to back. It's just one, I'm taking IT off for almost an entire day. So I have to have it on a different day. Can't do
Gotcha.
2 in one day.
okay. So how about, can we do the Friday?
I'm fine
Friday.
with that. You have to ask the committee.
Is everybody, Candelaria, I'm gonna, Friday the 11th, okay with you, or you want it earlier in the week?
It's, well, I'll start notifying it. So I can do the 11th, whatever makes sense. I'm
I
good.
just want to pick the later date so you have more time rather than the earlier date.
It's okay.
Okay. Representative?
Yes, I just wanted to pause on like going to the next steps and just ask Sarah Ann Shaw, does she want to give any commentary around the programs that we suggested, or does she have any suggestions? Because I noticed that she didn't say anything, so I just wanted to ask, does she have anything she wanted to share?
Thank you, Representative. Sarianne, is your daughter there with you so she can take you off mute?
Jay, can you unmute Sarah Ann? Claire Shaw, it's showing up as.
Unfortunately, I cannot.
Sarah Ann, you usually just have to hit the space bar to unmute yourself.
Well, if she's in a iPad or something, that's no
Oh,
space.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Hopefully there should be a little window that's coming up on your screen that says you've been requested to unmute. That could work if it's popping up for you.
I'm sorry, Sarah Ann, we cannot hear you. Sarah Ann, if you look at the bottom of the screen, there's usually a microphone in the bottom left. There's a red line going through it. You just have to click on that.
Okay, how about if we follow up, Pamela, how about we follow up by phone?
Say that again?
Let's follow up with Sarianne on phone. To get any feedback from Sarianne on phone later after the meeting.
Sure.
Sarianne, we can't hear you because you're on mute. And I know you're trying to get yourself off mute.
I think she actually just dropped off the call. I'm not positive though. Give me a second.
No, she's
Nope,
here.
I see her.
I see her.
All right, so we'll follow up with you, Sarianne. Okay, we'll follow up. All right, so
Did you want to go over the date for the next
Yes.
meeting?
can we do, yes, so the next meeting is for the review. So so can we say okay to Friday? Is Friday okay for people? Starting, we usually take 2 hours. So can we do 11 to 1? Or you want to do afternoon, or you want to do in the morning?
I think 11, the later we go, we definitely want to start as early as we're able to schedule-wise.
Okay. 10, we could do 10 to 12.
That works for me, whatever.
That works. All right, Shay, you okay? All right, let's do 10 to 12, Friday, the 11th,
Okay.
February 11th. Then on the agenda, oh, where is it? Oh, here we go. All right, so we're good with that. And then, oh, so new business, approval of program manager contract. Priscilla, I'm gonna put you on the docket for that.
Okay, so what this is more of it's an 18-month contract because we're approving from January 2021 all the way through to June of 22. So we're oh wait, did Sarah? Should I
Yes, she
pause?
did. She just
Oh,
unmuted.
Sarah.
Okay, great.
So Sarah, we wanted, hello, Sarah. So we want to get any feedback from you into the conversation, the programming and what you're doing. Any thoughts you want to share with us?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Well,
So you okay with the priorities?
well, since I wasn't able, I don't know. I am not I am not smart with the EP.
Okay.
So it's hard. It is hard for me to know what
It
you're
is.
looking for. You know, if you're saying if you want A or B or C, it's difficult.
Understood.
You
Okay.
understood?
Yes.
It's not that I don't. It the whole thing with the pre-department. The whole thing about what we're be able to do with people,
Yeah, we will try to accommodate them. So we will get the programs and then based on what we have capacity for, we'll work it through. So hopefully we'll get programming in the morning or maybe after school because we are limited for Saturdays and extended days. So we'll see what we get. It'll be mid-year, be middle of winter and vacations. So we may not have as many programming proposals, but we'll see. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, Priscilla, you were saying program manager contract.
So we'd like to have an approval for a contract for 18-month contract starting January 2021 through June 2022. And so the total of that, it would be $62,550. So we've got basically 2021 and then the first half of 2022, and then that will put us back on our fiscal cycle. And then, we will be able to be more of like how we're approving from June or July 1st through June 30th. And that will bring us back to how we were. So just want to have the committee approve that contract for Candelaria.
Got it. All right, any questions about the contract and the time frame and the total? And I think we need to take a vote. Jay, representative.
I do have a question. I cannot remember in the normal cycle, how much did the program manager make?
So it's billed by hour, certain amount of hours per week, not to exceed 41,700 for the year.
And I just want to say that I have not exceeded that amount because I'm not able to bill when programs don't happen. So I've certainly personally taken a hit with the changes in the schedule and stuff that we couldn't have prevented because of COVID. So there's probably surplus in the amount.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so the amount, the extra amount between the 4 whatever and the 6, that would be equal to a certain number of weeks provided.
Yes, from
programming
January 22 or January 2022 all the way through June of 22. So that's where that next part is.
And also, can you remind me how that happens? Is she reimbursed, or does she put in invoices, and does it come once a week, twice a week, or how does that work?
I put in invoices usually every 2 weeks. Sometimes it's gone to 3, and it's for, previously it could be going a little bit forward, but now it's now retroactively. So I put in an invoice, in fact, on Monday of this week that paid for my time through the last 2 weeks, ending on Monday. And then I'll submit another invoice in another 2 weeks.
All right.
And when I set the invoice, I do a report of what I've done and what the hours are. So the hours can fluctuate. I can get paid for up to 15 hours per week.
Okay, so now you get paid after you do the work. Before you would just put it in and you would get paid, and you would still might have.
But it's I've come to live with that. That's okay.
Okay.
What's hard is when, for whatever reason, my invoice doesn't get processed, and then I have to delay a week, and so I end up getting paid. So that's hard, but that hasn't happened as much as it did in the first year. So it's fairly smooth now. Thank you.
It's billed as incurred.
Yes, because I like to make sure people get paid.
Yes, we want to get paid. All right, so I believe we need to take a vote, correct? To approve the contractual amount to cover Candelaria's contract through the end of the fiscal year of June 2022, right? All right, so can I get a roll call to approve? No, can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
And then second, roll call.
I will second.
All right, I'll do the roll call for you, Evelyn. Arano Ortiz,
Yes.
Foley,
Yes.
Mayhew,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
and Tyler.
Yes.
It's approved. Thank you.
All right. Before I open public comment, I just wanted to share where we are on the budget. I always share the financials. Pamela, do you want me to share? Or you want to share? I have it open.
You share, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me pick the right.
I just got this, just so everyone knows, I got this report after our meeting started, just up to date so that we knew where we were.
Okay. All right, here we go. So here's where we're at with our budget. So the distribution for this 103. And then so far, here's the expenses. And then here's the ending balance of our fund. Wow, we're doing pretty well. The market has been generous. Look at that. So therefore, then here is the expenses year to date. Here's what we expect, and this would leave us with the balance. And this is a historical of how the fund has performed in the past few years. Okay. That finance committee is killing it. Thank you. Oh, yeah, that was me. No, sorry. All right, so that's it. I'll stop sharing. Anybody wants a copy, we're happy to send that out.
I'll send it out automatically, just so everyone has it.
You send it out. Okay. You can, thank you.
Evelyn, before we go to public comment, I was wondering if Alan had anything he would like to share. Someone's online or on the front lines there every day. I just want to invite him to share before we start. If he's able to unmute.
I think
he might be free.
I think he's frozen. Oh, no, he's not.
Oh, there he is. Alan, I didn't know if there's anything you wanted to share. Alan, if you'd like to share, you're on mute.
My only concern, the same one everyone else has, is that Mondays, is everyone looking for Monday, and that's going to run into all kind of problems though. But I know at this point in time, there's not too much we can do though, but if we can have Saturdays, everybody looking for Mondays. Since we used to have 2 nights, now we have 1, and so Mondays is getting filled up quick, and I'm just concerned that I don't know, people start looking for it's not going to be available. That's a major concern that I'm having right now.
Yeah, but we'll see if we get, let's not say no before we know. What we get, and then we'll figure that out.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Evelyn.
In
Evelyn,
regards to your public oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, public comment. We only have,
before we go to public comment, I just wanted to say something quick because unfortunately I've got to get off and go to my staff meeting.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put out there that I think that we should not do summer programmings. We should allow the summertime to allow Candelaria to be able to like get back to the original schedule we had where stuff would come out in the fall and, well, she would put the RFPs out,
Yep.
so that they would be in, but not have her have to worry about running programs while she's doing that. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yep.
All right, sorry, I have to go.
Okay, bye, Shay.
Bye.
We don't have any official signups for public comment, but we do have one participant. I know it's being joined by Elizabeth Nagaraja, who is the president of the Friends Group.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we promote Elizabeth to see if she has she wants to share anything? Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Excuse me. I don't have anything to share. I do like the way for the additional RFP, the way it's laid out. And I was really coming also to make sure that for Candelaria's contract, that her contract was mentioned, and also just the importance of making sure that her invoices are paid timely, since that is a source of her income. And that's really it. I got
Absolutely. Really appreciate it. All right. With that, we adjourn.
Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and happy
Thank you, everyone.
And I'll
Thank
send out a calendar link for the upcoming meeting.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
everyone.
Calendar, and Candelaria, need any help, just let us know. Happy to jump in.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you, Candelaria.
Hey, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.